Everyone, welcome to the Daily Illini Sports Podcast. It's Carson, Gourdie, and Drew Friberg. Illinois walks away with a 69-60 victory. Is it fair to say that Indiana was a fluke?
I certainly think so. I think Trayce Jackson-Davis just had his night, and I don't think that they were prepared for that level of scoring.
Yeah, he looked like LeBron James from the Miami Heat. I mean, he was dominant. But today, now they've won 5 out of 6, and they really did a good job of making Ohio State take a lot of twos. They only had 9 3-point attempts, and the on-ball defense was much better.
Mm-hmm. They really shut down Sensabaugh in particular. I saw last game he was coming off a really good scoring game, and when someone like that gets hot, it can be detrimental.
So do you think Brad Underwood's right that Indiana was just an off game? Like, he talks so much about how they had to play or practice 19 straight games. He thinks the 2 days rest paid huge dividends against Ohio State.
Yeah, I mean, he mentioned that twice, and I think he was at sort of a crossroads last week where Matthew Mayer was sick and just a few other recurring things just kept on happening. A lot of players couldn't play the full game or the full amount of minutes that they wanted to. I think the 2 days rest actually did help them.
And guys stepped up like Ty Rodgers.
Yeah, exactly.
And some other key takeaways from the Indiana loss, they didn't make their free throws. Well, today, they made 16 out of 18. It just seemed like there was more energy. It seemed like they were more focused today. Did you kind of get that?
Yeah, and what was really setting me off on the Indiana game was Terrence Shannon wasn't singing his free throws, but today I'm pretty sure
he was 9 of 9.
Yeah.
So. Oh, yeah. And Coleman Hawkins looked absolutely fantastic. I mean, this looked like Syracuse Coleman Hawkins when he had a triple-double. He didn't quite achieve that feat, but he was 5 of 5 inside the three-point line, 6 assists, only 1 turnover. 5 assists, only 1 turnover, 9 rebounds. When Coleman Hawkins plays well, they don't lose.
No.
I feel like he's the X factor.
Yeah, and I think we saw tonight that sort of effectiveness on the stat sheet as well as off of it. He was guarding everybody so well, and he was making it easier for his teammates to score. He was creating that space, and he was hitting his shots when he needed to.
So what do you think the issue is? He went 1 of 5 or 1 of 6 from the three-point line, but he's perfect inside the arc. What is why does he consistently shoot from the outside when he's not making them?
It must just be a confidence thing. He knows he can make them, but I don't know. Sometimes they just fall. We saw earlier in the season, he shot that ridiculous stat line, 5 for 6 or something against. It was his first game of the season, and it's hard to replicate that.
It is hard to replicate. Just overall, the team is best when they attack the rim. Terrence Shannon went 9 of 9. Matt Meyer, he missed a lot of three-point shots, but he made 4 out of 5 free throw attempts. Jay Epps looked incredible when he attacked the rim as well. It seems like there's a blueprint for this team. When they are aggressive, when they can run in transition, the team's going to win some games.
Yeah, and I think that's best shown by their fast break points. They got 9 to Ohio State's 1. And if they just can keep on doing that against even better teams and force foul trouble, which they did really well in this game, I thought, too. I forget who it was. I think it was Justice Suing. They had him out for the majority of the first half.
Yeah. So the team's won 5 of 6. This team looks a lot different than the debacles against Northwestern, against Missouri. So how do you feel with the rest of the Big Ten schedule on its way?
I think this is a good win for them to start back up on this streak of games. They're going to have about 2 or 3 days in between games from here to the end of the season. I think this was a great one for them to start off of and build off of for the rest of the season. I think this team could finish still in the top 3 for sure.
Yeah. The one thing against Indiana, they had Trayce Jackson-Davis. And I know Bryce Sensabaugh is a fantastic player, but he's not quite the dominant force like a Jackson-Davis. What do they do when they have to play Hunter Dickinson? What does this team do when they play Zach Edey, who could probably score 70 points on the team if he wanted to?
I don't have the answer to that. I've been trying to figure that out all season, and I don't even know if Brad Underwood knows, because he has struck out at the opportunity with Trayce Jackson-Davis and some of the other good big, just strictly good bigs in the league they have had trouble with so far this season. So an elite big like those two, I don't know how they're going to deal with them.
He seems like a realist at times.
Yeah.
I don't think he thinks his team's going to win a national championship.
No.
He knows they're young, they have a lot of pieces together, it just kind of, he wants to see effort, and he wants to see competent basketball.
I think he wants something to build off of for next season as well, and I think he can set that in stone this season.
Dude, there's some pieces too. I mean, Jay Epps looks more comfortable every day at the point guard line, and Sincere Harris is incredible defensively.
He just needs to score.
Well, he's not going to score. I mean, that's just not going to happen.
Yeah.
All right, well, that's going to do it for the Daily Illini Sports Podcast. I'm Carson Gourdie. This is Drew Friberg. Illinois wins 69-60, taking on Wisconsin this Saturday. Peace out.